All right, let's see what we got here. This is like one of those things that I really need to be taking all these words I'm saying and typing up my thoughts because I want to capture them and not lose all this excitement. But I don't want to bore you guys to death, having you sit here and watch me type. So if you guys just joined, you probably missed a whole bunch. But if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Happy to answer them. Yeah, just unreal. And and while some of these guys have performed at LAN, there are some cheats that I think people have used that work on LAN, and you'd assume they're not using it, and I think in a lot of cases they're probably not. But there's always that outside chance. So you never know. And that's true, Facade. That's something that's been a topic of conversation in other things and other shows with other people, where they kind of justify the use of cheats. I wouldn't say justify it, but they explain the upside of cheating in a help you get better way, not a use it in league way, where you learn different angles, you learn headshot lines, right? If you know someone's coming through, you can see them coming through the wall. I guess you can put your crosshair where they're going to be, so you learn some of that stuff. There have been a lot of pros that have done that in the past. I think it's incredibly risky, and I would never, ever advise you do that, but you could. Something wrong with the website. I'm being told manual bans are not enforced. Where did you see that? How many good kids are going to shit again? Yeah, I mean, this is so big. If you guys are like diehard Counter-Strike fans, you should be celebrating. I might run downstairs and get a bunch of beer and just celebrate and waste my entire Friday night in the celebration of this. That's how amazing it is. And I'm not sure on Spider Cadillac and all his cronies, because the rumor was they did get manually banned. I was told through some sources that one of them got detected, and based on that, they were able to nail the others. So, yeah. And yeah, Kuda, I mean, that's what I said before. People are going to start playing like, hey, I'm the best player ever. My stats went from like 11 RWS to 19 RWS because all the cheaters just got nuked, which is fun. It makes the game fun again. But I mean, so this benefits so many people in so many ways. If you're not an ESEA competitive player, this benefits you in that if you play matchmaking or you play in a public server, people that are blatant trolling, trying to empty a server or ruin your matchmaking experience are likely gone. That's a big deal. That means more players that are going to play the game, buy it, play it, and keep playing it, versus play it, get trolled in a matchmaking, get up, and then leave. Right. So that's huge for the matchmaking people. For people that play in ESEA, this means that if ESEA enforces VAC bans, meaning if you get banned by Valve, you can't play in ESEA, which you'd hope. I mean, it would just make sense. You'd hope that they would do it that way. You might see a max between the Bitcoin thing and all those people getting caught cheating. You might see massive reduction in the numbers of ESEA. It's a threat to ESEA in that if Valve's anti-cheat is doing good things now, the big thing ESEA has is their AC client. That might be, that may mean other leagues may pop up, right? So this benefits Civo in that their anti-cheat, which again runs in Ring 3 here, which is pretty crappy. And I think, and I don't want to speak illy of Civo because I haven't played in Civo since it was like Civo P years ago. But from what I've read in researching some of this stuff, their anti-cheat hasn't been really lauded like ESLs in Europe and ESEAs in North America has been. This benefits them in that if they can VAC enable their servers plus use something else for the things that Valve may not have caught yet, that's huge deal. If you guys, now that the stream number is a little bit higher, Organer and some of those cheats have been so popular because most anti-cheats run up here, and they don't have the privilege to even see an anti-cheat running in kernel mode. So yes, this is probably short-term success, and I'm sure they're going to find a new way to cheat. But the fact that ESEA is, Valve and VAC is now sitting in Ring 0 is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So you might see, like I said, you might see some top players, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be on like Curse. Like I've sat behind Anger and watched him play. He's a teammate. I know he's good. You probably won't see guys like that have been around for long periods of time. What you might see is some new star that came up. 8 RWS 1 month, 18 the next. That guy may not be here, which is huge. So I guess it's going to be a little rough for some of these new teams that just signed up. If people got nailed right before the season started, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, I did see somebody posted that Swag's account is VAC'd. Cheating, first seen as banned 2012. That's interesting. Last time checked, 5/18. Someone said PTR was banned as well. And Kuda, the question is, ESEA will benefit. Or you're saying that they will benefit if they choose to benefit from it. I think they can benefit from it in that the cheaters wouldn't be playing anymore if they enforce Valve's bans. If VAC detects a cheat, ESEA should trust that Valve got it right. So I would hope they would do that. So it could benefit them that way. Where it poses a threat is if you really break it down, people play on ESEA, yes, because there's money in a league and all that stuff, but those are easy for someone to emulate. The hard part is the anti-cheat client. And if you don't need it anymore, because you actually can almost trust, so it's hard to get these words out, you can almost trust VAC is going to get the job done. That is huge. And that might mean that CEVO will grow and some of these other leagues will start to play, pick up. And that people, when I try to offer, a free $500 online tournament in kind of a draft or pickup game format, that more and more people would play. Like this costs you nothing. This costs you just play some Counter-Strike and you might end up on a team with somebody from Quantic, right? And have a good time. And people didn't want to play this because there was no anti-cheat. That's big. Yeah, I can. So I've got two. RyuGaming.com is new, and that's the forums. That's kind of where things are moving to, and RyuLand.com is the old one, which has a lot of things like this where I kind of document my thoughts. I'll probably write one up. Like this is my thoughts on the whole Bitcoin thing, and some of it can be a little lengthy. So, but most of the stuff is moving over here to RyuGaming.com. Yeah, Leetway is another one. But Leetway's been relying on the EAC, which is here. Again, not in Ring 0. So VAC took a massive step today if they nailed that. And I guess that's a good point, Hype. You ask if they're cheating in Global Offensive. There's a chance that maybe they were cheating in another game. I don't know what games Organer could be used for. So maybe they've never cheated in Counter-Strike in their life, but they used it for like Day of Defeat or a game like that. Valve, I think they say if you catch a VAC ban, you catch a VAC ban, and games of the same engine are gone. He's gonna get trolled. Yep. So this is huge. This is a great day for Counter-Strike. I think I tweet that. Oh, look at that, 1,000 tweets. A great day in the history of Counter-Strike. And yeah, that's very true, Freeway. If they were low enough to cheat in a different game, the temptation is certainly there for them to cheat in Global Offensive, no doubt. Who wants to do a matchmaking? Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever been excited to go play a matchmaking server before. It's nothing is less fun than playing, with a bunch of your friends 5-on-5 and getting killed by a guy who's speed hacking and spin botting. Yeah, I mean, like when you're running 800 miles an hour in game spinning, it's not fun to play against you. Yeah, and I definitely agree. Those servers are 66 tick. That's no bueno. I'm very curious what this means for Valve and how they'll start to position themselves in the competitive scene. because they did built-in matchmaking. So if you were to search the ESEA forums, you would actually find threads on what does matchmaking mean for ESEA, where people thought that they would quit ESEA and start playing matchmaking more instead. But instead of doing that, they'd play ESEA and they would pay because they wanted to anti-cheat. So they've got the matchmaking engine. We know they have the money. Now they're starting to develop the anti-cheat to a level that's reasonable and acceptable. All that's really going to be next is some sort of league format. You sign up, you register. Maybe they have it at the Invitational next year, which I've been told they may have it as a headline game. Instead of something like Dota 2, you'll see Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Basket case, I think that ESEA used to have that draw. They used to draw players in because they'd say, hey, everybody that's playing ESEA wants to get better, and they're going to help me get better, right? I don't think that's what ESEA is today. I think if you read the forums, the amount of trolling, not only from people, but from ESEA themselves, I would call into question that the goal of people on ESEA is to help each other get better. My goal on my website here is exactly that. I try to help in many ways with hardware reviews, helping people pick the right hardware, helping them play together, and trying not to troll, because I think that deters people and makes the community smaller, which doesn't help anybody get better. So it used to be that way. I don't know if they've got that same appeal. You might see a drop. You'll see a drop in some players. I mean, there's players that are just that damn good. And I know because I've seen them. Like, I've seen Adren, I've seen Anger and Skadoodle. I've seen these guys play in LAN for Global Offensive, not just in Source in previous games. So I know that there is a very high skill ceiling that these players are at, but you're not going to see as many of them, right? The ones that are doing it artificially with digital software, hopefully are gone, or at least gone for, I guess, a year if ESEA bans them for a year. So where there may have been 50 players of that caliber, even if it's just 5 of them, 10% are gone, that's an entire team. Anger said Swag's account. I'll text Anger right now. I'll tell him that he is ugly. It's not really relevant. You are ugly. Little trash talk to Mr. Williams. Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it there. Ski lifts, I think that's what your name is. People, they don't play to help each other. They do not. If you see, it's like you missed a flashbang, and instead of saying, hey, if you bounced it off this part instead of that part, you would have nailed, a pop flash in his face. They just say, dude, you suck, get off my team, leave the server, take a pug leave. Or they dot kick you, It's completely different. But so I am going to document my thoughts in a post, and I'll post it here, and I'll probably link it over on the ESEA. But this is a big deal on just like 5 or 6 major levels. That so if you guys didn't believe that I did just call Todd ugly, this is that's his response. It's just like, wow, that's pretty funny. Yeah, this is a great day for Counter-Strike players. He called me a jerk. That's awesome. Skillet. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, the red font on this monitor is a little hard to see. Yeah, what you might see happen. Okay, so we'll take the conversation a little bit further. When you get banned, a lot of these people are going to make new accounts, new ESEA accounts, PayPal accounts. They'll go through the whole routine. One of the things that ESEA seems to have been successful doing is they fingerprint your machine, and they say the MAC address of your network card is that, and the GUID of your partition on your hard drive is that, and they pull these things that are kind of unique to your machine. So if you go through that whole process, they know that it's still you. So that's one way they detect. And there's several different ways they can figure out if you're trying to evade a ban, but that's a common one. I think Organer has some way they can spoof that now. So what you might see in the exodus of people is new accounts, and I don't know what the Steam ID is that they're up to now, like 9 digits in the 900s, I don't know. But you might see a bunch of new ones of those and a bunch of new ESEA members come back that are probably just kind of rehashes of people that just got nuked. Yes, basket case. That is what I'm saying. So the cheat that just got, the cheat, where was it? Actually, I think this one has the screenshots. Yeah. So this guy here, right? So this is the one. And I don't feel like I'm telling you guys, I don't feel like I'm going to make cheaters in this conversation. And I will never encourage that. So please don't take it that way for me showing you this site you may not have known of. But this guy posted today that their cheats are now detected by VAC. This cheat runs in ring 0. This runs in the kernel. And that is huge because VAC has taken almost a decade to be able to detect something that runs that way. Now, will they eventually be able to hack again? Probably. But the fact that Valve is even making attempts to catch things here now tells me that they're taking their anti-cheat more serious. And maybe it's just the way that people were blowing up their matchmaking servers that it took for them to actually see it. I don't know. But the fact that they're there now is a very, very good thing for all of us. And for other anti-cheats, is that something that just started happening? Yeah, that's something that just started happening because you used to be able to download cheats. You could Google cheats for Counter-Strike and run them, and VAC wouldn't catch you. And that's why you see people like speed hacking. Speed hacking is like the most insulting hack ever because it's not only is it blatant, you're running around killing people before they get out of spawn, and you're not getting banned for it. So it's like you're kind of taunting them. You're laughing in their face like you're not going to ban me. And it's kind of funny when you watch it. You see somebody spin bot, and you kind of laugh. You're pissed because they're ruining your experience, but it's kind of funny. Those were all up here. Organer, wrote these cheats in in a way that would let them run at the system level, at the kernel level here, that has access to hardware that these anti-cheats up here couldn't even detect, which includes not just VAC, but a whole bunch of other ones. And for them to have something here now, I would take that as a commitment to doing a better job with their anti-cheat. That's how I'm taking it. And I'm hopeful, but the fact that they're even here now is a big deal. Yeah, yep, Kuda, I mentioned some of the ways that they can spoof that. But beyond just that, right? So there's you can see what the IP address is. There's a lot of things you'd have to do to not get caught evading. I don't know what that means, P Bandy. If it's that I talk with my hands, I'm 100% Italian. So an Italian with one arm is a speech impediment, is the joke.